By popular demand, we're back again. So this tutorial is about a kind of flower. This is one of Paper Paul's inventions. It's taken from his website, his YouTube channel. He is the master of curved shapes. He's extremely inventive. I haven't got any commercial example of this mechanism, but this is it. Though this is a six-sided circle, though the one I'm going to show you how to make is 10-sided. I'd always thought that six-sided was the only type of open-top shape you could make. So this is six sides, and that's what I've always taught as being, all you can do. You definitely can't do 8 or 5 or anything like that. But in fact, Paper Paul has shown you can do 10. So this is a 10-sided one. It's all about parallel. So you stick the outer edges stick down parallel to the spine in both cases. In the six-sided one, you just have 2 lengths at each end that are above the spine. Whereas in the 10-sided one, you have 2 and then 2 more. So you have 4 at each end. But they both work really beautifully. This is the 6-sided one. And this is what you'll need for the 10-sided one. This bottom strip, this will be the open top shape that I've made it 3 centimeters high. And then above that, you have all these strips which will fold round to make the petals. And it goes from that crease, it goes up 6 and then 9, and then there's a tab at the top. And the key here is from this top crease down to the very bottom. In this case, it's 18, but you need this crease in the middle because these are going to fold round and glue in at the bottom like that. So if we look at this, you can see you've got the open top shape at the bottom, and then these come up, fold over, and then glue underneath. To get the balance, when it closes from this top crease, it has to be the same distance down to the page on the outside and on the inside. So I've already made this one. It's in 10 sections. There's a tab on the end here to turn it into a complete circle. And then there's 2 tabs on the bottom, which are going to glue it to the page. And so between these 2, you need to have 4 sections, then a tab, then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other tab. So let's just start by sticking it together. So I'll glue this into a complete circle. Okay, that'll be that's the open top shape ready to be glued to the page. The tabs can go inside or outside. I'll probably put them on the inside so that they're hidden. So we need a base sheet, a quite fancy bright yellow. So here it is, fold it in half, crease it well. And I haven't actually worked out the best order of gluing these, but I think it makes sense to glue the petals into position before gluing the whole thing to the base. So I'm just going to go around gluing the outer tabs onto the inside of so it's going to go around like that, and that's going to fold under. So I'll put some glue on that and stick it on. When I made this, I creased all these tabs on the end. I think the whole thing might actually work better if they're not creased, so that when you glue it up underneath, they'll tend to jut out more, and that will give you better shaped petals when you come to making it yourself. But anyway, this is what I've done. Let's just see how it goes. All ready to stick to the base. So now I need the 2 tabs that are going to stick it to the base. They have to be parallel with the spine. And the way to make sure it's all centered up is you take the creases that are going to be above the spine and you line them up. and then the tabs that stick the whole thing to the base. We might as well glue them both at the same time so that we can just try and position the whole thing by eye, and then we'll shut it. So if it needs to move at all, and while the glue is still soft, it can move around. So the two sides that glue it to the spine are parallel to it. Those two creases are over it. That looks about right. Let's just try and get as nice a circle as I can. And let's just fold it shut. So if it wants to move it, it can move. There we go. Not bad, I think. So now I've got the cone to put in the middle. These are all covered in open top shapes. There is a flower in that. That is tutorial 18. And then this will be based on a pyramid, which is tutorial 21. The way you design this is you draw a circle, you measure the 10 bits around the edge. These lengths are the same as the lengths of each section of the flower. And then how pointy it is depends on how big you make the radius of the circle. So I've drawn the circle, I've drawn these 10. On this one, I've made the radius of the circle, this bit, that's 5 centimeters. And the length of each of these sides is 2.5, which is the same as the lengths on each section, each petal of this flower. So I haven't finished cutting it out, and I haven't creased it. I'll just do that really quickly. And then you need to cut out this wedge from the middle, but remember to leave a tab so that you can glue the whole thing into a closed position. This piece will have 3 tabs, 2 that are going to stick it to the base, and 1 that's going to stick it into the pyramid. And remember, between the 2 tabs you have 4 sections, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. And this tab can't go right to the middle because they will come to a point, so you have to make it a bit shorter. So I'll just crease all these nicely. So there we are, 10 sections. I've creased them all. Now I can glue that there to close it to make it into a cone to go in the middle. So I'll just put a bit of glue on that tab. There we are. And glue that into the middle of this. So these 2 tabs gluing it down, they have to go on top of the tabs that are inside this. So again, they're parallel with the spine. And I'll put glue on both of those at the same time. Roll them in. Tricky. Ooh. There we go, more or less. I probably should have done it, stuck it the other way up so you didn't get the black lines from the scoring with the ballpoint pen. So it'll just be white. But anyway, quite a nice flower. And thank you very much, Paper Paul. It's his invention. So in this case, you've got one curve, which is the circle of the flower. And then you've got the other curves of these petals. Thank you very much.